today.
This was the last time they played. It was in 1996 at Green Bay.
41-6.
41-6. Of course, this is a different year, a different team, and congratulations to the Denver Broncos and, you know, John Elway. There's a lot of people rooting for John Elway to get there and win one, and good to see the Broncos there.
That's Dorsey Levens. And he gets inside the 35, about the 33. You heard timeout being called. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Replay producers Peter J. Macheska, associate director Mike Roig, the broadcast associates are Fran Morrison and Charles McDonald, technical producers Bob Mueller, technical directors Joe Benda, audio supervisor Bob Siderman. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill, both of whom are in attendance.
And they've all done a great job. I mean, our producer Bob Stenner and director Sandy Grossman, they're special people, and
they make it great to go to work.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, it's fun, and it's fun when you work with them, and they're always on top of everything.
Levens on third down, does not get the first, and the clock continues to run. They'll get it stopped at the 2-minute warning. San Francisco is out of timeouts, however. There's Brent Jones. What a warrior he's been over the years. The guy who takes some severe licks, talking to Jerry Rice. They were teammates for a long time. Still are, I guess, because it's not official about Brent retiring yet. The NF's player of the year, defensive player of the year, Dana Stubblefield.
And you can just see the finality there, that they know it's over. They can't do anything about it until next August.
2 minutes left.
Okay, quiet on the set, please.
All right, a little to the left. No, camera left. Good. Okay, just a little more. Oh, I'm loving it. Okay, let's do it.
Roll camera. Speed. Mark it.
McDonald's bacon double cheeseburger, take 16.
Where's the burger? Not again. Where is the...
Right now, get a bacon double cheeseburger for only 89 cents when you buy any drink and fries at McDonald's.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
At 89 cents, they're moving quick.
So they tell me I'm behind on my RSPs. I tell them, right, I'm behind. So what are you gonna do about it, they say. I say it's decision time. I say I'm gonna do something. Because doing nothing is the worst idea of all. Let's see, what did it say? Borrow money to save money. Hang on here. The catch-up loan for unused RRSP contributions. Borrow 15, get back 6 in income tax, put that against the loan, pay back $170 a month. Grows to $20,996 in just over 5 years. Over $70,000 in 25 years. This works. Decision made. We can do this, Charlie. Come on, let's wake the boss.
The Scotia RRSP catch-up loan. Call 1-800-575-8888.
Fourth quarter was brought to you by Scotiabank. You always know you're in the leading funds with Scotia Leaders Program.
2 minutes left. Green Bay 23, San Francisco 10. Packers in punt formation. The 49ers would get the ball back, but with no time left. No timeouts left. Sorry, 2 minutes left. But they've used all the timeouts, so they can't stop it. Greg Hendricks punt. Bounds down to about the 7. And the 49ers will have a long way to go. Next Sunday, World War III will be fought on ice. Don't miss Canada's Wayne Gretzky and America's John LeClair when they lead the best players from North America against the world in an Olympic preview. Don't miss the NHL All-Star Game live from Vancouver on Sunday at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, right here on Fox.
You know, this is tough what the 49ers go through too, because you know, I've been in a number of these games, and I've lost championship games, and you really work like heck to get here, and you've done a lot. You won a lot of games to get here. 49ers case, they had the best record in football. They got the home field, and you can't just throw them in the bunch. I mean, they're still as good or better than most, and maybe not as good as one team.
Young to Stokes. You don't know who's coming back next year either now with the free agency. All these guys have opportunities to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably no team in the NFL that is going to be the same as they were the year before.
Young chased from behind, and down he goes. Just gets rid of it. Flag on the play.
I think they called that a completed pass because the guy's marking it where they caught the ball.
Flag down in the mud, however.
Well, what it was is Steve Young threw the pass, but he was over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. But it used to be that you had such a bond with your teammates, and when you lost, if you lost, you knew you were coming back to the same people. That feeling is gone now.
Yeah, and then they still have to bond, but they have to bond quickly.
Illegal forward pass. Offense number 8. 5-yard penalty. Loss of downs. Pass from beyond the line of scrimmage.
Dick Hantak and his crew have done a good job today.
And the teams that can bond the quickest, and the coaches that can help them bond the quickest, are the teams that, you know, that win, that play in championship games, that go to Super Bowls.
Again, the presentation of the trophy as Young drops again. Firing deep for Stokes. Incomplete.
Did you notice that shot of Gilbert Brown over there in the sideline? Did you notice that Gilbert Brown didn't limp at all today?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Well, he didn't limp at all. He was saying that last week after the game he talked to his mom. And she just told him, she said, hey, don't limp on the field anymore. And I said, well, what'd you say? I said, your ankle was hurt. You hurt. He said, I said, yes, ma'am. And Gilbert Brown did not limp. I watched him today, Pat. Gilbert Brown did not limp today.
Talk about discipline and how important it is on a football team, no matter where you are, what level you are. But when they talk about discipline, they always go back to mom.
And mom is still boss.
Yeah. Young up the middle part. Wayzake made the reception.
You know, and I wonder if that rubber band on Brett Favre's right arm is going to hold up. His daughter gave it to him before the season, told him to wear it for good luck. And he's worn it all season.
49er player Wayzake is down. He had a bad knee. There's some question about whether he'd be able to play or not during the week. And in fact, Steve Mariucci said to us Friday, if he doesn't run better today than he did yesterday, he won't play. He won't even be active.
And he ran pretty well on that Friday practice when we were there.
Don't forget to stick with us when the game is over. The NASDAQ stock market post-game report with JB, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie. The presentation will be on the field, believe it or not, this muddy field, the Hallis Trophy presentation. And our boys who have stayed behind the cover, undercover, will have a chance to come out and get wet.
Well, and they should. And then again, Brett Favre, that rubber band on his right wrist, Brett Favre, he had that tied together yesterday. Yeah. And he said, I can just, and it was funny. And you know, when you think like a winner, and we were talking about that rubber band, he said, you know, it just has to get me through 8 quarters. So he wasn't thinking about today's game. He was thinking about it has to get me through this game and the Super Bowl.
You look at him in uniform, the things he does. You know how big he is? 237 pounds.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing it. He's 237 pounds.
Maybe with all that wet equipment on, he might be.
That guy that he was talking to that went off to his right, that's Andy Reid. That's his quarterback coach. And his quarterback coaches have had a lot of success.
I thought
Antonio Freeman was limping around. Yeah. He had cramps and he was stretching. And when you win a championship, you can start dancing. There's a whole bag of donuts. He got that cap on already.
Dorsey Levens. Bag of donuts. Frank Winters.
Yeah, he was saying when he played with one team, he didn't talk to anyone. He said with the Packers, he said everyone's a friend.
Tell you what, you joke about him a lot. Brett Favre jokes about him a lot, mocks him a lot, but he's a heck of a player.
Well, he is a heck of a player. And at one time, I remember Brett Favre saying on offense, if there was anyone that he could least afford to miss, anyone he could least afford to lose on that team, it would be Frank Winters.
Big Gilbert, he'll fill up the picture, won't he?
Well, and he'll stop the run. And, you know, it's going to be an interesting thing when you talk about Terrell Davis running and then getting Big Gilbert Brown blocked to run.
Young's pass goes through the hands of Stokes. Brent Jones still there.
Yeah, and he only has a couple plays left in his career, and he wants to play him. And you know, the finality about that is that you play all your life. I mean, you start when you're 8 or 9 or 10, then you play through grammar school, then high school, and then college, and then pros, and you've had a season every year all your life. And then you go to a point that next year you're not going to have a season, and that is tough to take.
He's still there on 3rd and 10. Young's pass incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Seth Joyner.
Now, Seth Joyner is having fun.
Yeah.
Look, you see him laugh. I mean, I know that. I mean, when you know that you've never been to a Super Bowl and you want to do all your life.
Finally.
Yeah, and you're playing out there. It's the end of the game, and you're diving and you're sliding in mud, and you're dirty and you're wet, and things are smelling out there and stuff. It doesn't get any better than this.
Right.
It doesn't get any better than this right now for number 54. I'll guarantee you.
4th down for the 49ers. Stokes will get the first, so they'll keep the ball as he steps out of bounds and stops the clock. Grabs a towel over on the sideline. Brett Favre, they already had the caps made up.
Brett Favre.
Rubber band. It's on the other arm, isn't it?
No, that's on the right hand. It's right there. Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, you can see it right there in his right hand. In fact, he has knots in there.
Yeah.
You can see it right up there.
Got one on both arms.
Yeah. He has one on both, but the one on the right is the one that's starting to wear up. That's the one that he had to tie knots in.
Young chase. Down goes the ball, but it'll belong to the 49ers. They scramble for it. Keith McKenzie chased Young down. McKenzie's come on and had a couple of strong games here at the end.
Yeah, remember last week after Gabe Wilkins got hurt, McKenzie came in and got some pass rushes. I'll tell you, as great as it feels to win, and the Green Bay Packers, I'll tell you, it's equally as tough to lose these things. These are tough because there's nothing you can do about it. There's no next game or whatever. But on this side, this is why you coach. This is why Mike Holmgren coaches.
And again, the presentation will take place when this is over, as the players on the field start to shake hands now.
Yep, this is why the players play. This is why Seth Joyner comes back. This is why they rehab. This is why they lift weights. To get to this point right now, to be wearing a white jersey.
Brett Favre looking for Steve Young, I think. Reggie White. A sloppy day.
But it has to feel so good for Mike Holmgren to not only get back to another Super Bowl, but to win it here in his hometown.
A chance to defend. And as you said before, John, when you're the defending world champions, everybody plays their best. There's what Brett Favre was looking for. Just to say hello to his friend.
Two of the biggest competitors in this league, Steve Young and Brett Favre. Two guys that know how to play this game and know there's only one way to play this game.
All out.
Give everything you have. And Brent Jones probably knowing it's the last time he'll have that jersey on, and probably not wanting to take it off, probably not wanting to leave the field. Want to be the last guy off. Want to be the last guy to take the jersey off in the locker room. Because it's
Gary
the last
Plummer
time you're going to do it.
Could be the last for him, although he says he wants to come back.
He said he was going to retire, and then he said he wants to come back. So
again, a reminder to stay with us, because the presentation of the Hallis Trophy emblematic of the NFC Championship, is coming up down on the field. This play of the game brought to you by Energizer. And again, it's the only Green Bay touchdown of the day. I beg your pardon, Levin's got one late, but this was the first one.
Yep, and it was, again, Antonio Freeman, first of all, getting inside Marquez Pope, then making a good run against the grain.
Final score here in San Francisco is Green Bay 23, San Francisco 10. Coming up on the NASDAQ postgame report, we'll have highlights and interviews, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second postseason stats. That's all next on the NASDAQ postgame report.
And let's start with the brewmaster for just a moment. The brewmaster is the chef, and that is the key brewmaster role, to understand the blending of his or her ingredients. Not only he or she tastes the beer every day, there's another person who tastes the beer every day, and that is me. The ability to have hands-on brewmasters working with the finest ingredients gives you Budweiser.
American Express Small Business Services. How can I help you?
How can I help you?
Right. We only work with small businesses.
Why don't we start with your cash flow?
And our equipment financing plan will help spread out the payments.
That'll definitely give you more flexibility.
How about setting up a line of credit?
We can do that.
Then I'll put you in touch with one of our CPAs so you can start getting ready for tax time.
We can always make adjustments when your situation changes.
Call 1-800-SUCCESS to find out how American Express Small Business Services can help you do more.
I wasn't looking for love. With just a glance it happened. Love came looking for me. Get out of my life!
Dockers, khakis.
Hey, I'm going to McDonald's. You want anything?
Yeah, give me a Big Mac and fries.
Hey, did somebody say McDonald's? Coffee and a cheeseburger.
A number 3, and supersize it.
Barry, cheeseburger, apple pie, Coke, and you have call line 7.
Barry, fell in the mailroom. Look, we need 4 Big Macs. Could you hurry, please? Thanks. Yeah.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Some decisions are harder than others. The Chrysler Sebring LXi Coupe or the Sebring Limited Convertible. For the passionate side, fully independent suspension, speed-sensitive steering, multi-valve V6, and a luxurious leather-trimmed interior. The practical side, lease the convertible from just $299 a month. And on the coupe, get $1,000 cash back and luxurious leather at no charge. Some decisions are easier than others. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
Watch for the signs of great comedy. Slippery when wet.
You need to take a soak. I'm not taking a soak in that human bacteria frap you got going there.
Children at play.
You threw a banana peel at a monkey? Well, he started it.
Blind curve.
Would you rather date the blind or the deaf?
The blind. Good-looking blind woman doesn't really know that you're not good enough for her.
I think she figured it out soon.
Seinfeld, tonight at 10 on Fox 29.
An unusual house call.
It's a sexual problem.
A compromising position.
You can walk in at any time.
Come on, he'll kill us.
Doctor's orders.
Might like to put your dress back on and straighten up before he gets home.
Hey, Sue, open up.
The party's over.
Why don't you turn up the light?
On Frasier.
Monday at 10:30 on Fox 29. This is Fox 29, WUTV, Buffalo.
Here on this NASDAQ NFC Championship postgame show, we will take you through the elements today. Trophy presentation to the Green Bay Packers coming up in just a moment. We will also take a look back at that AFC Championship game between Denver and Pittsburgh. Denver, of course, heading to the Super Bowl. They will be taking on the Green Bay Packers. We will preview that contest, and in what has been an outstanding year, we will bring you the plays of the year as we welcome you back to our remote home away from home, along with Ronnie Lott, Howie Long. I'm James Brown. We will get to our experts to break this game down for you in just a bit. But right now, we're going to take you back downstairs, field side, as the Green Bay Packers get set for the second consecutive season to be the recipients of the NFC Championship trophy. Let's join Terry Bradshaw.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we present the trophy presentation, let's give a round of applause to the San Francisco 49ers and the great job that they've done. First team to have won 5 Super Bowls. Now, on behalf of Fox Sports, we're proud to present to you the president of the National Football League, Neil Austrian, who would like to present to the president of the Green Bay Packers, Mr. Bob Harlan, the George S. Halas Trophy, symbolic of the NFC champions. Neil.
Thanks, Terry. You know, it's very hard to win the championship. It's even more difficult to come back as a visiting team and repeat. It's my pleasure, Bob Harlan, Ron Wolf, Mike Holmgren, to present on behalf of the National Football League the George Halas Trophy for the champions of the National Football Conference.
Why don't you hand this trophy? You guys want to grab this trophy. Hold that trophy up there. Mr. Harlan, the Green Bay Packers won basically Super Bowl I, Super Bowl II, back-to-back championships. You won Super Bowl 31. Now you're traveling to San Diego to hopefully win Super Bowl 32. I want to remind you that the first team to win back-to-back Super Bowls 2 different times was the Pittsburgh Steelers. A little bit of pressure on you, perhaps, huh?
And we're ready to face it.
You're ready to face it?
Terry, I'd just like to say that the Packers certainly congratulate Carmen Policy, Steve Mariucci, and the San Francisco 49ers, a class organization and a fine football team. And I think I speak for all of these Packer fans here when I say thank you to Ron Wolf, Mike Holmgren, our coaches and players for what they've done for Green Bay.
Congratulations, certainly in order. Mr. Wolf, now I remember, I believe it was 6 years ago, you had to give up a second-round draft choice to get this guy standing to our left over here. That's turned out to be a pretty good deal, hasn't it?
It really has, and I tell you what, we'd probably do it again.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. Hey, Terry, I'd like to say one thing to all the people back there in the state of Wisconsin. How about them Packers? Hey!
One final question. Your matchup with Denver the last time really wasn't so much a matchup, but now in Super Bowl 32, looking forward to it. We need major differences that you see as a general manager going to San Diego.
I think it'll be difficult because we're going to an AFC city and, you know, representing the National Football Conference. But that's going to be the hardest thing we're going to be faced with, going to San Diego. They're more familiar with all the intricacies, if you will, that place and that stadium, and we're not.
Yeah, but you're defending world champions.
Yeah, but we're also very, very happy to be there, too.
I guarantee you. Hey, Mike Holmgren, head coach, Green Bay, you're a hometown boy. It must feel pretty good coming back to your hometown and winning the NFC crown and the opportunity now to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, Terry, it's wonderful. You know, my family, a lot of my family still lives here, and I have a lot of friends here. I know I'm on the other side, but this has always been a great place for me, and it's extra special today, and I owe a lot to these guys behind me on the stage.
Before I ask you a football question, I guess, in a way, you haven't really had a chance to think about this, but pressure now traveling as a defending champion back-to-back and going against a guy that really the country is going to really be supporting John Elway, hoping he can get that ring for the storied career that he's had.
Sure, I understand those things, Terry, and but I really like our football team. Denver has a great football team. The fact that we're going to the Super Bowl, we're going to enjoy all that down there again, is just a wonderful thing. Repeating is very difficult, but I'm really proud of my football team right now.
How about the job your defensive coordinator, Fritz Shermer, did today, mixing up 3-man fronts, 4-man fronts, blitzes when you least expected it, bad weather conditions?
Well, Fritz is the best. I've said that all along, and even outside of football, he does so much for me in a personal nature. He's a very wise man. I'm lucky to have him.
Good. And you know I'm his agent, don't you?
No, I thought so.
Where's Brett Favre? Has he left the building? Hey, what do you got on your head?
Jerry.
Now, a lot of Packer fans here. You, a three-time most valuable player, the first time in the history of the National Football League. An opportunity now, Brett, to go back to the Super Bowl. How much right now does that mean to you? Have you thought about it?
It means everything. You know, I play this game for one reason, that's to win a Super Bowl. And there's nothing more gratifying to play in this championship game and to win it. And I can't say enough about our football team and what we did to get here.
Now, I think athletes in general are superstition, but hand that trophy to somebody. Hand that NFC. There you go, Eugene Hill holder. Show. Now, what are these rubber bands on your wrist? You played with those today.
Yeah, my daughter gave me these before. My daughter Brittany gave me these before the season and wished me luck with them, and they haven't let me down yet.
If you look at this football game in the first half, I commented that between you and Steve Young, 359 yards of passing, 24 for 37, you two quarterbacks. Second half, obviously, you can see what happened with the rain and everything. How hard was it to go from a bombs out first half to really more of a control offense in the second?
Well, it was very difficult, and we knew by watching the weather that it was going to get tough as the game progressed. So we wanted to get up early, and then we could run the ball and be a little more controlled. But I tell you what, our receivers and guys up front blocked great, and we caught the ball great, and it was just for me to put the ball out there, and they did a great job.
Was it difficult holding the football? Was it difficult controlling it?
I tell you, this is as tough as it gets. You know, if it was colder, it would really be tough, but it was very hard to hold the ball and then control it on the throw.
All right, I know your head coach calls you Gomer, doesn't he?
He calls me a lot of things. He may call me something nice today.
I just dogged you on national television.
You did.
That's for goosing me last year. You deserve that. Where's Eugene at? All right. All right, you ready?
Yeah, okay.
Now, if there were a big play in this game, the pass down the middle of Steve Young, and there you are all over the tight end, you pick it off and you take off. Tell me about the play. Tell me about your responsibility.
Well, actually, Leroy was blitzing, and so I had coverage. And when he ran that little 6 route inside, I said, oh, the ball's coming inside. And when the ball was out there, I said, just catch it. And if you just catch it, you won. So I caught the ball, and there you have it. And I ran down the field, and I got tired.
You got watch out. Hold on. You got tired?
Yeah, look, that's a nice cut, right? You know, and I got all the blocks happening, and I got kind of tired. Yeah, that monkey's going to jump on my back in a few seconds.
You got to relax here. Where's the stride at?
No, I'm hurting right now.
How difficult was it for the defensive backs and the corners especially having to play so cautious with the field conditions the way they were? You can't be aggressive. You got to lay off unless you get caught at it.
But our style is aggressive anyway. Our corners press a lot. We talk across the board, and we're really intense. And so today's the weather. We play in this type of weather, so it's not something that's odd. I thought we played well, and we had to lay off a little bit because you can't go for the ball, and if you miss it, it could be a touchdown.
All right, Super Bowl 32, San Diego. You're going to be going up against one of the greatest arms in the NFL.
I faced him so many times.
You've been playing against him in every game in practice.
I played against John Elway so many different times. I have a lot of respect for him. I actually got a helmet signed by him too, man. I need a helmet signed by you also, so there you have it.
Leroy, how about the effort I thought today, really by both teams in the first half?
Yes.
The coverage I thought was excellent considering the field, but I did think the field would dictate the game in the second half. How much a change was it for you as a secondary man? What did you have to do?
We just kept our composure. I think that everybody knows that we're the best bat-weather team in the nation. And I think that our guys just kept focused. If they catch the ball, we just wanted to hit them. And if we kept it close, the win would be with us and against them in the fourth quarter, and it happened that way.
How much did you have to change? And normally a lot of blitzing. I saw some blitzing today, but did you take a lot of your blitz packages out because of the field conditions?
Yes. You know, we weren't as aggressive at the beginning. But towards the game kept going on, we got a little bit aggressive, but I had to come out and do a lot of coverage stuff, so I wasn't able to do a lot of blitz.
You didn't get tired like your man over here? I didn't think you did. Okay, that's it from down here. Green Bay Packers, National Football Conference champions. JB, back to you.
All right, Terry, did a nice job up there. Even in all the rain, Terry Bradshaw did a nice job. Let's come back to my colleagues, Ronnie and Howie. The guys talked about it. Fritz Shurmur, 65-year-old defensive coordinator. To me, he is the MVP. What he did in handcuffing the Niners, here at home.
That's true. You got to say that he's the MVP. He's faced the 49ers over the years. He was the defensive coordinator for the Rams. He did an excellent job taking away the passing lanes, did an excellent job of stopping the run. And the one thing that I admire about him, he had his guys ready to play. And when you have your guys ready to play, you can win football games. And man, what more can you say about Fritz Sherman?
Yeah, Fritz Sherman did an outstanding job with multiple defensive fronts. And this San Francisco team's a team that got here running the football, turning the football over, forcing turnovers, and field position. They got none of that today. 33 yards rushing, 0 forced turnovers. Green Bay, as a matter of fact, forced 2 turnovers. And they got there running the ball, 116 yards rushing. And as they said, it didn't happen in the first half, but as the game wore on, they had the ability to do that in the second half, as they did last week in that big game up in Green Bay. Now they step down here and they do the same thing. And they did it on the road. Might be Mike Holmgren's best job of coaching this year when you consider the number of starters he was forced to play without this year.
Well, you think he'll ever be recognized as Coach of the Year?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he ever will be, because they've established himself as such a great team. Usually the Coach of the Year is someone who's taken a team from the ashes and brought them back, like a Tony Dungy, like a Mariucci, like Jim Fassel.
Well, you got, and the one thing you got to say about this is that you got the teacher and the student. The teacher beat the student.
A remarkable job as Mike Holmgren and his Packers have knocked the 49ers out of the playoffs for the 3rd straight season. All right, folks, Brett Favre, 3-time MVP, the only 3-time MVP in the National Football League, 16 of 27, 222 yards, and a touchdown. We'll be back with an AFC Championship review after this.
In 1984, 2 computer scientists envisioned the impossible, a seamless network of computer networks. They invented the router, and Cisco Systems was born. Out of Cisco came internetworking, and now directing millions of messages a day. Their equipment makes the internet possible. Cisco will be there as web users soar to 200 million by the year 2000. Where do you learn about companies so integrated into the future? NASDAQ, shaping the new world of investing.
Hey, buddy. I'll trade you my scarf for that last Bud Light. Come on. But the hat? That's fair. What more could you possibly want, huh? Oh. You got a raw deal.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
I never said it was the last one.
Make it a Bud Light.
It is a symbol that stands for freedom, for power, for the spirit of adventure, for discovery, for strength, for passion. It is a symbol grounded in the belief that for ideas to take flight, they must have wings. It is an enduring reminder that while all cars appeal to our practical side, the great ones appeal to our more passionate side. It is the symbol for great cars. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
Winter '94, the greatest skaters and unforgettable competition. February 5th in Vail, many return as Tanya and Nancy meet for the first time since the assault. Tanya Harding.
You were involved, true or false?
Nancy Kerrigan.
Is there any room for forgiveness?
Lillehammer Revisited, February 5th on Fox.
Dorsey Levens continues what has been an outstanding season. 115 yards on the ground today. First 100-yard rushing effort against the 49ers this season. Back with more locker room conversation after this.
I can be a hero. I can be a role model.
I can do my homework every day. I can do whatever I want to do, no matter what other people say.
Well, I can be anything I want to be. Except an engineer.
I can be on the honor roll.
I can dunk on somebody and just scream at them.
I can be the next Jerry Rice. I can be a great basketball player. I can be whatever I want to be.
I'm all right. I could do this. I could do this.
You're all set. Have a pleasant flight.
Great.
Here you are, sir. A two-door spec.
Spec?
Our junior executive suite.
Supersize me.
Sure, what would you like?
I don't care. Just supersize me.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
I know a place.
America's a big country. Big. We like our skies big and our mountains extra large.
I'll take you there.
We purchased Louisiana. We bought Alaska. We wanted more beaches, so we added Hawaii. We love to spread out. That's why we gave the Chevy Malibu more room for 5 than Camry or Altima. And a bigger trunk than Taurus. So stretch out. It's the car you knew America could build. The Chevy Malibu.
I'll take you there.
It is one of the most powerful warships, with satellite communications, radar and propulsion systems that are the most advanced in the world. But USS Mitcher cannot do a single thing without you. Because the most important part of USS Mitcher is her crew of over 250 sailors who every day embark on a journey of honor, of courage, and of commitment. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin.
Tonight, the Simpsons join a carnival.
You gonna get drunk and start a lot of trouble? Sure, anything you want.
On a brand new Simpsons. Then, Troy Aikman joins the Super Bowl bash.
Puttenhauer's dip was so thick our chips were snapping like Joe Theismann's leg.
On a brand new King of the Hill. It all starts tonight at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Last year, Reggie won his first Super Bowl, right? Victorious Green Bay Packers, Eugene Robinson and Leroy Butler holding up the George S. Halas Trophy, symbolizing the NFC Championship Trophy. Of course, there's nobody any happier in the Green Bay Packers than the man who got his first Super Bowl ring last year, Reggie White, 12 consecutive Pro Bowls. He's standing by right now with our own Ron Pitts.
All right, standing by here with the man, Reggie White. That George Halas Trophy isn't too bad, is it?
It ain't bad at all, man. I'm extremely humbled at this. You know, I've always said I never thought I had a chance to win one, let alone having a chance to maybe win two. And, you know, God is a great God, and I just praise him for this opportunity because I know he gave us a chance at this. I just want to say thank you, Jesus.
Talk to me about coming back this time around. Everybody says it's so much harder and everybody's gunning for you, and it's true. But tell me how it's been. It's been, you know, the first 7 games was a real struggle for us, you know, because we were trying to play up to what everybody said we were. After that, the bye week we had, Mike gave us that week off. It was the most brilliant thing that he did, you know, because it gave us rest and it gave us a chance to refocus. And we started playing for us instead of worrying about what everybody else was doing. But like I said, I just praise the Lord for this. This team reflected a lot of confidence this year, and you came out in the paper in the beginning of the week and said the 49ers haven't played the kind of people we've played. That reflects that kind of confidence, and I think a lot of people with the 49ers took that as arrogance. Well, you know, it's not arrogance. The thing is that we got some quiet confidence. We've been playing that way. And, you know, one thing that I think that helped us more than anything was to win those 3 games on the road. We knew if we had to come here, we could win. And that was the confidence that we had because we won some big games on the road. Yeah, and then there's one more game left, right? One more game left, and against a doggone good football team. I mean, you know, I know everybody going to be pulling for John Elway, and, you know, he definitely deserved it, but we want it. We want it better now. All right, good luck to you, Reggie. Appreciate it. All right, let's go back to James Brown. All right, Ron, thank you very much. And certainly, again, as we mentioned, no guy any happier than Reggie White. And even though Reggie has not been very dominating, Howie, nonetheless, what he has done over his career certainly stands on its own. Yeah, he's played a majority of the year with back problems. He had a couple of epidural blocks this season. But hats off to the San Francisco 49ers and Steve Mariucci. Revamped the offense, brought in bigger offensive linemen, took the pressure off of Steve Young, lost Jerry Rice in game 1, and made it to the NFC Championship game in his first year as head coach. All right, Howie Long talked about Steve Mariucci. We will hear from the coach when we come back. Indeed, it has been an outstanding season for him. But right now, the Packer fans are the ones who have all the right to cheer. We'll be back here in San Francisco with more after this.
This just in, football legend William Refrigerator Perry is returning to the NFL. They're working out the contract details at this very moment.
Okay, Fridge, here's our demands. 3 submarine sandwiches for every sack.
3 submarine sandwiches for every sack.
2 deep dish pizzas for every tackle.
Fridge, you want to be legit. You got to get the double cheese and the ancho.
Man, those guys are good.
Fox Sports News right after your home team game on Fox Sports Net. Home teams, Fox Attitude, 24 hours.
Auto insurance. There's liability, collision, deductibles, and then the cost. Hello. Let's talk Avomart. Call them toll free. Talk to a live personal agent who can save you up to $400 a year. The right coverage, easy to switch, and won't cost me my firstborn. 1-888-AVOMART. Or visit their website, Avomart. Save some bucks. Avomart. Turning insurance around.
8488 at Mickey D's, and I like it. 8488 Mickey D's, this is the place.
McDonald's introduces 8 great menu items for 88 cents each every day. A double hamburger, chicken McNuggets, fries, shakes, sundaes, and breakfast stuff. Just 88 cents each.
8488 at Mickey D's, and I like it.
Did somebody say McDonald's? 8 great menu items for 88 cents each.
An unusual house call.
It's a sexual problem.
A compromising position.
You can walk in at any time.
Come on, he'll kill us.
The party's over.
Why don't you turn up the light?
On Frasier.
Monday at 10:30 on Fox 29.
This distance, you need a long lens to observe a tiger in the wild. At this distance, you might need stitches. Wild things.
Tonight at 11 on Fox 29. This is Fox 29, WUTV, Buffalo.
People, executives, everybody. Because that's the Green Bay Packer organization. Okay? Now listen, hey, I'm proud of you, but what? We're not done yet, all right?
And that's the high point associated with this game. The Green Bay Packers, of course, winning the NFC Championship for the 2nd consecutive season, knocking off the San Francisco 49ers. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, prime time lineup coming your way. It'll be The Simpsons coming up next. That'll be followed by King of the Hill, and then, of course, a chilling episode of The X-Files. All right, folks, the San Francisco 49ers, by any stretch of the imagination, have been the most successful franchise in the 80s and 90s. Came up short today. We'll check in with Steve Mariucci to get his thoughts. He's standing by with Pam Oliver.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, Steve, let me ask you. It's got to be a tough feeling for you. Can I ask you some of the things you shared with your team?
Well, it was a difficult locker room. We hadn't lost a game here in 3-com this season, and we fell short of our goal. And, you know, but we've got a very determined team. And, you know, we may have a Brent Jones retire, that type of thing. We got some veterans, but you know, we got a lot of guys that will be back and very determined to get to this level again and win it.
What went wrong for the 49ers today?
It was hard. They the field position thing was really in their favor. I think we started 8 drives on our 20 and backed up, and couldn't really get a long drives put together. And then we didn't run the ball really like we hoped to. Of course, we got behind, and then we really abandoned the run a little bit. But you know, they were very good. You give them credit, and they outplayed us today.
We've had a lot of fun with you, working with you this year. I'm sure you have a lot to be proud of with your team. Thanks for being with us.
Well, you guys have been fun, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's go back to James Brown.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. So the Green Bay Packers have snapped an 11-game win streak by the 49ers here at home. 49ers in NFC Championship games at home are 4-5. Green Bay Packers, outstanding indeed. All right, folks, when we come back here to 3-Com Park at Candlestick, we'll take a look at the upcoming Super Bowl 32. That'll be held in San Diego. Brett Favre and Mike Holmgren will be there.
you can save $100 on professional installation and get $50 of programming certificates. So what are you waiting for? Go to your retailer today.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight cancer and kidney failure. By inducing the body to produce blood cells, chemotherapy and anemia patients are gaining new strength. Helping to grow blood cells helped Amgen become the world's largest biotech company. Where do you learn about companies with such pioneering spirit? NASDAQ. Shaping the new world of investing.
We're back at Ericsson Stadium where we're down in the final seconds of the game and it's still tied. The kick's high.
Ericsson mobile phones. Catch the excitement.
Listen, Charlie, there's no way that my client is going to go for something like this. And what is with this paragraph? Listen, Charlie, you're killing me here. You've been through this a million times, Charlie. Yeah.
The Civic sedan from Honda.
No.
What more do you need?
Charlie, I gotta go. Somebody's here.
Next Sunday, the NHL on Fox returns with the 48th All-Star Game. In an Olympic preview, Canada's Gretzky and America's Leclerc unite to lead Team North America against the world. Coverage begins next Sunday at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
Exciting thing about Super Bowl I for me was the astronauts with their backpacks gliding around the stadium. I thought that was phenomenal. But Coach Lombardi felt a great deal of pressure from all the old established NFL owners to not only beat the Kansas City Chiefs, but beat them badly, almost to embarrass them.
That's the end of the game with the final score. Green Bay 35 and Kansas City 10.
And Green Bay, of course, will be looking to continue to add to their Super Bowl memories. This one coming up, Super Bowl 32. Packer fans are still here and with every right to cheer. All right, folks, the Green Bay Packers will be taking on the Denver Broncos, who were victors today, Terry.
John Elway, another great day, but this guy, Terrell Davis, off to the right side, 8-yard touchdown run. Denver goes up by 7. That bell is answered by the Steelers. Little flare right, fake go to the left, down the right sideline. Cordell Stewart doing what he does best, but unfortunately today, not enough of this. 3 interceptions and a fumble by Cordell Stewart. And then this play-action pass at the goal line. McCaffrey on the right side, man-to-man coverage, a little out route. And then the man with the gun, Elway, hits him, 24-21. But are they through? No, the Steelers fighting back. Cordell out of the pocket, scrambling, doing what, Matt? Gunning one to the corner. There's Johnson, touchdown, 24-21. Shanahan and the Denver Broncos head to Super Bowl 32 in San Diego.
And after the game, we, of course, got sound from both teams, both winners and losers.
Yeah, I'm not happy about getting back there. I want to win it. I mean, I've been there before, so, I mean, I've never had a chance to win one. So, I mean, that's going to be the focus. And I'm thrilled to death to win the AFC, and I'm thrilled to death that we have a chance to be world champs, and that's all we really ever asked for.
Became his biggest fan. You know, I hope John Elway can go in there and represent the AFC and bring this thing back to the AFC. No, I don't wish he would retire. I wish that guy nothing but the best. I think it's a very foolish question, to be honest with you.
You know, hats off to our defense. We made the plays. When you turn the ball over in championship games, you end up losing, and that's what they did.
All right, so John Elway looking to improve on his 0-3 mark in the Super Bowl. It's all set. It'll be Denver and Green Bay. And with that matchup, let's check it out.
Check it out!
In 2 weeks, Super Bowl 32 features the defending champion Green Bay Packers taking on the Denver Broncos. For the Broncos, last year's disappointment fueled their desire for another shot at a title. With no wins in his 3 attempts in 8 years since his last Super Bowl appearance, this could be John Elway's final shot. Guiding the league's top offense, he utilized the league's #2 rusher, Terrell Davis, and a talented receiving corps. Denver's Super Bowl record is 0-4, having been outscored 163-50 on Super Sunday. And each loss has been one for the record, primarily the result of a porous defensive effort. As for Green Bay, its Super Bowl history could best be described as past and present. The Lombardi Packers, with two-time MVP Bart Starr, captured the first two. And then after a 29-year layoff, last year's heroes brought the trophy back home to Titletown. This season, the Packers returned to defend their championship with Brett Favre at the helm. Favre not only became the NFL's first three-time MVP, but was also the first quarterback to post 4 consecutive seasons with at least 30 touchdowns. And Green Bay's formidable defense was led once again by Reggie White, selected to an unprecedented 12th straight Pro Bowl. Entering Super Bowl 32, momentum is on the Packers side, having won 12 of their last 13 games. The Pack brings in the NFC's second-ranked offense, which will test the Denver D, while the Broncos' top-rated offense will try to bring years of suffering to an end. The contest features 2 of the league's top quarterbacks, and what better stage than Super Bowl 32? All right, back here with the full house, Ronnie, Howie, Terry Bradshaw, and Matt Millen, affectionately known as Bub, called Bub for his remarkable ability to remember the names of everyone he's met in 40 years. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl preview with Pat Summerall and John Madden and the group here. We'll do all of that when we come back, and we'll allow Howie to beat up on Bub when we come back. Back with more in a moment.
I believe that if you really go out and do exactly what you want to do, you find happiness.
If you can do what you love, that's incredible.
Anybody that says that one person can't make a difference is wrong.
Rocks. Some people skip them, stack them, or just plain ignore them. But then there's these Texaco people. They love the darn things. Obsess over them. Go to the ends of the earth to find them. They study them. They scan them. Even taste them. Why? You find the right rocks. You find the energy the world needs to keep on running. Texaco. A world of energy.
It's a cage. Yes, it's a cage. What you place human beings in. And they have to be protected somehow. We have to sacrifice one of each model to prove that the other ones are just as good. One way to test any product is to tear it down.
Me personally, I'm glad we do it because that's something that I can lay the old Mark I eyeball on, and I know that exactly what I have. I'm not trusting anything except myself to know it's correct.
Is almost everybody crying? What the heck is going on? The Miller Lite cheerleader searches over. That's what's going on. It's Laura from Ohio. It's Irene from Abilene. It's Trixie from Rhode Island. And Elaine from New Orleans.
There's a new weapon in the fight against crime.
You're under arrest. Now smile into the pimp can.
Damon, coming soon to Fox.
A series of unexplained deaths.
What came out of his stomach?
Lead to a terrifying revelation. The X-Files, an all-new episode tonight.
If I can think of one memory from the Super Bowl, it has to be in Super Bowl II. And 2 things. It was Coach Vince Lombardi's last game coaching us. And also I intercepted a pass, took it 60 yards for a touchdown. I was the first defensive player to score in the Super Bowl.
All right, just a reminder that coming up at the top of the hour, it will be The Simpsons coming your way right here on Fox. Let's come back inside and talk about upcoming Super Bowl 32. Starting first with Matt. Matt, some real marquee names, of course, in terms of quarterbacks there. And as Terry Bradshaw mentioned to Mike Holmgren, a lot of sentiment will certainly be on John Elway's side.
Oh, yeah, I'd be cheering for John Elway just to watch John Elway finally do what everybody wants him to do, and that's win it. But I think in this year's game, there's a big difference than the last time that Elway's been there. And, you know, Ronnie and I just talking about it. The Denver Broncos should have been named the Denver Elways every time he's been there, because really he was all they had. Now they have some help. And they have Terrell Davis who can run the football. And they have some people outside like Rod Smith down the field, being able to make some plays. You have Shannon Sharp in the slot. He has some help. He doesn't have to be there all by himself or do it all by himself.
Okay, let's bring in Pat Summerall and John Madden. Fellas, give us your overview of this matchup, first of all. What do you like about it?
The matchup between Denver and Green Bay, as Matt was just saying, heretofore it's been just about all John Elway when Denver's been in the Super Bowl. This time it's a little bit different. They can run the ball a lot better, as been mentioned many times. They've got good receivers. They have an excellent offensive line. I give them a better chance this year.
I think they have a better chance, but I think that's all they have is a chance. I think the Green Bay Packers, you know, proved today that to win championships, you have to be able to run the ball and you have to be able to stop the run. Now, I agree with what Matt says, you know, about Terrell Davis, that he can run the ball, that they have a running game. I don't know how successful they'll be against the Green Bay Packers, but I don't know that Denver can stop the run. I don't really believe that yet. And I'm one that says that you stay with the champions until someone beats them.
And I'm one who believes that the emergence of Dorsey Levens this year as a very durable, very tough back has added another dimension to Green Bay.
And then you take that combination with Brett Favre. I mean, Brett Favre is the best player in the National Football League. I mean, he's been the MVP for the last 3 years, and I know that, you know, it's easy to root for Denver, and maybe the AFC can do it this year. I, for one, starting right off, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. Let's go back to JB.
All right, Pat and John, thank you very much. Let's turn to Ronnie. The last time John Elway was in a Super Bowl, you played against him. John Elway, 0-3 in Super Bowl performances, 2 touchdowns and 6 picks. What's been the difficulty in Super Bowls?
I think the difficulties have been this. John Elway, as a quarterback, has had just a one-dimensional situation there. And one of the problems that you have, you got to be able to run the ball, you got to be able to throw the ball, and you got to play defense. He hasn't been able to play defense, but John Elway has done an excellent job of getting his team to the Super Bowl. But for him to win it, for him to win the Super Bowl, he has to come up with some other guys who can be great. And that's the problem right now. As you look at this game, we played him here, and he cannot complete a pass, and right there is another woo hit. But you got to understand one thing: when you're playing against John Elway, you got to stop John Elway. But he has to have the defense. They went and got Neil Smith. They got Alfred Williams. They got some guys who can rush the passer, who can put pressure on Brett Favre. But you got to be able to run the ball, and Terrell Davis can do that for him.
Yeah, the question, I think, has to be, you know, as Matt pointed out, they are not a one-dimensional team anymore. They have, on wideout, Rod Smith can go deep. McCaffrey's a big possession receiver who makes the tough catch in traffic, takes the hit. Shannon Sharp causes a myriad of matchup problems. Where do you put him? And I'll tell you one thing about Mike Shanahan. He always seems, through pre-shift motion, to get the matchups he wants. I look at the Kansas City game 2 weeks ago. You look at that game. They line up the tight end versus Derek Thomas. Rather than leave him open on that side to rush the quarterback, they run on who they want to run on. They get the matchups they want. John Elway is not the quarterback that he was 10 years ago, but fortunately for John Elway, he has more people around him.
You know, the problem, that's good stuff. The problem is Green Bay has seen all that stuff. Yeah. They've seen every bit of it. They've seen his good. They've seen the big receivers. They've seen the running games. They've seen the blitz packages. They've come into 3Com Park. They played in hostile crowds. And you heard Holmgren talk about going to an AFC city. I say all of that's well and good, but Green Bay, to me, proved to me today, if I had any doubt about Green Bay, today they proved to me why they should be favored and they should win. If there's one concern at Denver, it would be Gary Kubiak, their quarterback coach, who's our coordinator, who I understand now is Jerry Jones with the Cowboys, wants to bring in as their next head coach. And Mike Shanahan had that experience with Al Davis and only had the 1 year. And Jerry Jones is influenced by Al Davis. So I'm wondering if Kubiak, this will be his last game down in Denver.
Two things to remember about this game. First of all, both of these offenses are the same. Holmgren, Shanahan, same system, so they'll be very familiar with both offenses. And then I think this is the biggest point. I think that the Denver Broncos could play their absolute best game, maintain the discipline of their scheme, and Brett Favre would still beat you. Yeah. And that's just the bottom line.
Wow. So it should, in fact, be an outstanding game on NBC, which will have, of course, Super Bowl 32 coming up between the Green Bay Packers and the Denver Broncos, and we certainly wish NBC all the best in that telecast. When we come back, we will continue with the post-game show here. San Francisco losing to Green Bay 23-10. The Packers move on to Super Bowl 32.
They created their microprocessor in 1971. And the faster their chips have performed, the faster their company has grown. Today, the Intel design is the brains behind the majority of the world's PCs. By the 21st century, their chip could execute 2 billion instructions in 1 second. Where do you learn about such fast-thinking companies? NASDAQ, shaping the new world of investing.
There are over 3 million people who count on Ford Taurus because Taurus has proven itself over 100 billion real-world miles and offers a Duratec engine built to go 100,000 miles before a tune-up. People have confidence in Taurus because it's engineered for safety and quality. Hey, the reasons go on and on, just like the car. Ford Taurus.
I'll be back on Tuesday. The numbers are on the fridge. I color-coded all your meals so you won't be confused. The blue one is a beef dish. B is for beef. The pink one's a pork dish. P is for pork. You get the idea. The green one is for vegetables. It should be violet for vegetables. But I thought you might see violet but think purple and interpret pork, which would defeat the whole purpose of convenient color coding altogether. 4 minutes on high, stir halfway. Bye, guys.
So what do you guys want for dinner, blue or pink?
Did somebody say McDonald's?
I hope Mom color-coded breakfast, too.
You know, racing for interstate means my battery has enough power to run my car, as well as some other race necessities, like this mini fridge, track lighting, my foot massager, a window unit. And for those long races, who could forget the espresso maker? Heck, I even had a big screen put in for my friends.
Interstate batteries, power fast, built to last.
Hey, Bobby, the burrito's done yet?
Troy Aikman joins the Super Bowl bash.
Boomhauer's dip was so thick our chips were snapping like Joe Theismann's leg.
On a brand new King of the Hill, tonight on Fox. It's the greatest disaster since the Titanic.
I wonder how that happened.
Come on, Sharky. You call yourself the king of the jungle.
On a brand new Simpsons, next.
And welcome back to the NASDAQ postgame show. Those of you who watched our pregame show during the season will remember our Porsche quarterback report. Now, the standings are based on a touchdown pass to interception ratio, with the winner getting a brand new Porsche Boxster. And the final standings for this year's Porsche quarterback performance, it was indeed close. And guess who won? Terry Bradshaw's favorite, the Raiders. Jeff George came out on top, 29 touches, 9 picks. Porsche North American President Rich Ford, with some help, presented Jeff his Boxster earlier this week.
Jeff, congratulations on being this year's Porsche Performance Quarterback of the Year. In recognition of this great honor, I am pleased to present you the keys to this special Oakland edition of the 1998 Boxster lineup. And just to make you feel perfectly at home here in Oakland, we also have one feature with this vehicle that we're especially proud of, and we think it'll make you feel at home here in Oakland.
Thanks very much, Rich.